Hey, hello, everybody. It is your favorite kind of podcast. The kind that just features me. No, don't worry. I'm not going to take a lot of your time. Basically, I'm here to say I scrapped the actual episode that we were going to do this week in consultation with Jake and Ben. It was too mean. It went too far. And I'd like to come back and do the topic that we were doing again. But I did not like the tone, and none of us liked the tone of where we landed. We were just not having compassion for people in the way that we were talking about the subject, the mysterious subject that we were talking about. So I do not want to release that one. So you're not getting much this week. I'm sorry about that, but it was the only responsible thing to do. Hey, I do have one thing I could talk about very briefly, which is that we had a book censored by Amazon. Pastor Tim Bailey, the founding head pastor of Trinity Reformed Church in Bloomington, Indiana, which is the mother church of Church of the King, which we're planning in Evansville right now, the mother church of Warhorn Media, the mother church of my spiritual maturation, and Jake's and Ben's as well, I dare say. Pastor Tim Bailey, you may well know who he is, but just in case anyone doesn't know who he is, that's who he is. So anyway, Tim has written several books and Warhorn Media has published them. One of the most popular, simply because it speaks to a felt need, is a book called The Grace of Shame, 7 Ways the Church Has Failed to Love Homosexuals. And it is, I dare say, one of the better books out there on homosexuality, what the Bible actually has to say about it, and how the church has failed in its handling of the subject and how we can do better, to put it succinctly. Anyway, Tim is wary of the fact that books like that get censored. He was actually writing, I believe, a tweet. He was either starting a blog post, but I think it was a tweet that he was writing about how Christian stuff like ours gets censored. And he goes to link to Grace of Shame in the tweet, the Amazon link, and what do you know? It's gone. Poof. It's disappeared without a trace. It's gone into the ether. There's just a hilarious picture of one of Amazon's dogs there. It says, "Sorry, page cannot be found." What was that voice? That was a weird voice. I don't know what this voice is. I suppose it's going into a British thing. Hello, British listeners. Anyway, Tim looks there and he cannot find the link to his book. And so he's like, I don't know what happened. And we look around and we figure out that the darn thing's been censored by Amazon. And we don't know exactly why, because it's not like Amazon has Jeff Bezos call you up on the phone and say, "Hey, buddy, we decided your book was being a little too negative on the whole LGBTQ plus movement. And so we decided that we cannot get..." No, you don't get any kind of communique like that. And it's even more complicated for us because we actually go through a third-party book publishing service that's actually the ones that are working directly with Amazon. So, in any case, we don't know why they chose to censor this. I mean, we do know why they chose to censor this, but not because they told us, because we said, we got 2, and we got 2. If you put them together, now I know it could be 5, could be 3, but we're just thinking it's 4. Now, the real question is, how did we come to Amazon's attention? I mean, are they so good that they're scourging and purging people on our level, which is to say a rather small and insignificant level? Or is our book just that awesome? Is this particular book that much of a threat to the establishment that they decided we particularly deserve to be purged? Or did some enemy alert them to our presence, and say, "Hey, this book wouldn't usually be the kind of thing that you guys would even notice that you're publishing, but you should notice and you should do something about it." And then they did something about it. I think the last one is the most likely. In any case, if you want to go to Amazon.com, it's a great place. You can order wonderful books like Mein Kampf on their Kindle service. I was just looking there, The Anarchist's Cookbook, all kinds of wonderful things you can order from Amazon.com, but you cannot order The Grace of Shame. That's kind of a shame for you, though, because you should order it. I think Tim, one of the reasons he's been such a blessing to me and to hundreds of people like me, and one of the reasons that we've worked to extend his reach is because he really is on the forefront of people who understand sexuality and understand what our culture is doing with it. And The Grace of Shame is his book that is the most prescient and the most cutting in terms of exposing the errors, shall we say, that the church has made on sexuality, not just in the here and now, but over the last several decades. I mean, Tim was around. He's old enough that he was around for the sexual revolution. He's been around since homosexuality was legal in all 50 states. And so better than anyone that I could name, either private friends and relations and people that I know or work with, or publicly in terms of public figures, I think Tim understands the sweep of history and the sweep of sexual decadence through our institutions over the last 50 years better than anyone that I know. So I do think you should read Grace of Shame. And if you haven't read it, you should go to warhornmedia.com. And you'll see near the top, there's kind of this toothpaste green slab with all these different drop-down menus. And one of them is books. And if you just click on, you don't actually make the menu pop, but just click on books. You can scroll. It won't take you but a second to find The Grace of Shame. Order a copy for your friend, for your enemy, for your wife, for your husband, for whatever. It's a great book, and I encourage you to read it. And I think it would be fun if we had a spike in sales precisely because Amazon decided to bring down the boot heel on us. So I hope if you've been holding off until now, you take this as your opportunity to purchase a copy of The Grace of Shame. It is not hard to find on our website right now. And I think we're even running a sale. As a matter of fact, if you're listening to this podcast around the time it comes out, yeah, we've made it 15% off through the end of April. So there you go, baby. No excuse. Go to our website, warhornmedia.com, and get yourself a hard copy, a paperback edition of The Grace of Shame at the Warhorn store there. Hard copy, by the way. They can't take it away. Kindle can't cancel it. It can't just disappear from your device or get edited one day. So that's good. Hey, I'm not telling you this because I just want to make extra money. I'm telling you this because I really do think that this is a great book. It's an important book. It will deepen and broaden your understanding, not just of homosexuality, but of the sexual deviance that's sweeping through our culture, more broadly speaking, and of the church's response to it. And I encourage you to read this book. If you have not, this is a good time. I do, the salesman in me does think it would be very fun if we had a nice spike in sales now that Amazon has come after us. So if I have any kind of devious sales motive, ulterior motive lurking in my heart, then that's it. That's what it is. All right. That's all I got for you today, folks. I'm sorry we didn't have a real episode, but believe me, you didn't want the real episode. I'm not even going to post it on Patreon. I just think our tone was off. Sometimes you record things like this and you get angry. Like you're thinking of a certain person or a certain type of person and you're mad at them, but you don't realize that your rhetorical crossbow is shooting arrows, not just at that person, but at all kinds of other people kind of getting stuck in the wake. And that's what kind of happened on this one. And it's just not worth releasing it. It would have been confusing and disheartening for people. So we will do another episode on the same topic. And probably when we do that episode, we'll say, hey, this was the thing that we originally recorded something on, but we had to come back and redo it. So you'll know eventually what it is, but I'm not going to say right now. Anyway, good talking to you. And order a couple copies of Grace of Shame for yourself, a couple for your friends and loved ones. I mean, I'm serious. Order more than one copy at warhornmedia.com. And thank you. Until next time, stay sane.